Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Play Stardrive 2 Sector 0 DLC. I've decided to make a tips and tricks Let's Play guide thingy for all of you. And for that I will play without loading and saving. I will play in the highest possible difficulty with the most number of stars and absolutely hostile galaxy environment. We're playing the race created by myself, and without any further ado, we'll jump right into it. And here we are. First point, a good starting position. You do not want to start in the middle of things, because then the enemy will come from everywhere. Second, it is not bad to have nebulars around you, because nebulars will stop enemy fleets from reaching you. If there is any inconvenient visit by some black ships, they will be slowed down by this nebulars here. So you want to stay on the rim as far out as you can. You're back to the wall, you can say. And you want to stay or to start in a system that has planets. As for example, here we have a large barren planet. It's heavy G, but that's okay. And we have an abundant normal G planet radiated. So you see, good starting plan. It's not perfect, but okay. And now we go to the systems around us that we can see. There is only one system around us, but that system already tells us we're right here. Small, medium, barren. Ugh. Then we have the Dorn. That is actually one of, I think, 6 or 7 special races. They're not in competition with you. They're not building colony ships and going around trying to get everything under their control. But you can do special things with them. Some of them sell you soldiers, some of them sell you technologies, some of them give you ships and stuff like that. These guys here, they give you troops if you go there. As you can see, they're starving because they're on a desert planet and they're not producing enough food to support their population. And that brings us to a very important point: food production. Most of the planets are not able, for example, radiated and barren and toxic and what they are called, they're not able to support your populace, your people. You have to build fighter ships. So if you're producing on one planet enough food, let's say like this, let's pick this little fellow, then we have a food surplus of 2, and if we have a freighter ship, or some freighter ships, we can support colonies that cannot yet produce food themselves. That is very important, because if you do not, they starve off and die, and there goes your colony. What is the backdraw on this? Well, if you colonize planets that cannot produce food for themselves, the freighter ships will go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. On one hand, they will cost you money for upkeep. On the second hand, they can be intercepted and destroyed, and then your colonies are starving. And it's not that easy. Well, it's not that hard, but it's also not for free to build them. So try to avoid that. Now you ask, Boris, how can I avoid that? Well, very easy. This one here helps. If you build it, then you get 3 food per colony for free. And soil enrichment, that means you can harvest a little food out of every planet. So that's quite nice. And it's a starting technology. So, what else do we see? You see that it's a small planet and there are 6 people on it. You see, how is that possible? Normally there are only 4 people on it, or 3 with a small planet. Well, that's easy. I have taken Subterran, and that is another tip for you. Subterran makes planets huge. This is a medium planet, and there are 18 people maximum on it. This is a medium planet, 9 people maximum on it. With Subterran, you can get the most of your planets. And it's not that costly to get in the beginning. Remember, you can only buy this in the beginning. And you can enlarge the planet's population, max population, even further with technologies. Special resources. Some of the planets, as you can see here, Bacter Root and here Nano Cage, have special resources on them. If you control them, you're getting a bonus. For each cage of nanobots controlled, you get +1 production. God, is that good? Just compare that to, for example, this here. The automated roverway, which costs you money, and you have to build it, gives you +1 per worker. This planet here gives you a whole empire, +1 production for every worker without building anything. Yes, the planet is radiated, so you will have problems keeping them alive. We have to build ships to support them. There are other special resources, some are better, some are worse, and if you have 4 of them or more, you get a special bonus. For here, 25% discount running production queries, that is quite nice. Vector Roots gives you 10% approval throughout the empire. That is great, because that is, again, the equivalent of a building that you first have to research, then to build, and then to pay upkeep for. Here we have a normal bonus to a planet. That is ancient robots. That means if you settle here, you get 2 workers for free, robot workers. They have no special traits, they're just there to do your bidding. But that's good. And yes, if you are a religious zealot and have the sacrifice special skill, you can sacrifice them if you want. This, for example, here has a negative bonus on a barren soil. That's the reason the guys here are starving. Barren soil means -5 production. There is a way to avoid that. You can research special technologies. Sometimes there are special projects to get rid of these things. For example, there are planets that have a special hostile animals on them. If you put 4 soldiers on them, that bonus, that negative thing will go away. There's always a way to get this negative red thing gone, either by researching, sending troops, or something like that. Well, we have a lot of planets around, but they cannot support themselves, so we need a freighter fleet first. It takes 9 turns to build them. Let's see if we can speed that up. It's 6 turns to build them. Now you can see our production goes up, but so does our waste. So as you can see, sending too many people there will not necessarily have the effect that it is going much faster. But so far it's going faster, so we're doing that. We're building a freighter fleet first because we want to have the nano cage. And we sent our colony ship there. Hooray! The Dawn, by the way, will offer you troops, ground troops, for 500 gold pieces. So that's a lot of money. So, next point. Ships. If you send your ship out to look for new worlds, don't click directly into the system, because if you do and there is someone waiting for you, some crystal menace or some lobster party, you're getting in a lot of trouble. So always click in a sector nearby that is empty, and you will see that we can see the system and its inhabitants without problems. So don't click in the middle of the system. There are too many hostile things that want to eat you. About the nebula, there are different colors of nebula. There are blue ones, there are iron storms, which are very bad for your ships if they don't have shields, and sometimes there's something living inside that things, so be careful. There are red ones, red nebulas, and you can use these nebulas to wage war, because they have different effects on shields, ships and weapon systems, and you can use that to your benefit. What else is there to know? Research. I always go first for Rover Bay and Xenomine, but when you look at our planets, you could think that Astrophonic Farm and Soil Enrichment would be the better choice. Which one you take first is of your liking. I always go for that, because I'd rather have in the beginning some fighters running around, because they have very short ways to travel, so they're easier to protect. And after that we go for the Fighter Bay. Why the Fighter Bay? The Fighter Bay is the best weapon technology you can get. Why? Because it's cheap. It's the cheapest weapon technology, but that will be... Shipbuilding will be in the next episode, I guess, not in this one, but heed my words, Fighter Bays. Fighter Bays are your friends. The only one that is more friendly to you is, I mentioned already, the fusion engines in another episode. Fusion engines is the only engine tech upgrade you can get in the entire game, so you want fusion engines no matter what happens. Furthermore, just because of the Fighter Bay, so you know, normally you can upgrade shields. So you can say, for example, oh, I built my ships and I have laser cannons, I research plasma cannons, so all ships back to the yard and let's build plasma cannons into it. And you have plasma cannons in it. Pulse cannons, okay, all men's back to the yard, we're building pulse cannons into it. And the same with Gauss cannons, and the same with plasma torpedoes, and the same with, I don't know, all this weapon stuff. Fighter base always upgrade themselves without you paying anything. If you have fighter base in your ships and you research ion beams, all fighters will immediately equipped with ion beams. Same with fusion beams. Same with disruptor cannons. Same with phasers. You get my point? Fighter base do not have to be upgraded for money or hammers or work capacity, so to say. You're getting that for free. So, fighter base it is. Research philosophy. There is a technology here called xeno-assimilation. If you don't have creative, this is a must-have, because this is the only way you get all technologies. Except you're especially good at trading, which I don't think. Not about you, but the other races are not that cooperative. Xeno-assimilation is very, very useful if you're not creative, because every time you conquer a colony, you're getting a technology that they don't have. Very, very good. Very, very, very good. Okay. It takes 3 turns. Good, let's go. Is there anything else we can do? At the moment, not. Let's move it. And as you can see, we can now see in the system and see it is a gas giant that we can at the moment not colonize. I want to know what this system is. I'm not going inside the system. I'm not nuts. I'm going besides the system. So, our colony ship will be arriving there in very short time. Our freighter base are still taking time. We're not yet colonizing because we need our freighter base to be active. We should stay a little bit away from that iron storm, because that is a very bad thing. So now we can colonize the planet, because next turn our freighter base will be ready. And here we are. You see they're shrinking. So we have to build something, and the first thing, well, they cannot build a lot actually, because how could they? We don't have a lot of technologies there. We could build a star base, but that will take 100 turns, so that is not a good idea. We could start building a freighter bay, a freighter fleet. Not that they will get it done in time, but at least they're starting. I will show you what you can do about that in a second. So, freighter fleet should be ready. We should have a surplus of food. We should do a little researching. And we're still making 5 hammers, so that's okay. GNN, Galactic News Networks. They will talk about every single race. And now you can see they're not longer starving, because now we have a freighter place to support them. And we have only 1 guy here, but we're getting 4 hammers. Why? Because we've got the nano cage. Hooray! Nano cage is great. So they're not building anything yet. We should let them build something. And they could already start building a colony ship. They should not finish it, because if we build a colony ship, one of our guys will go away, and we don't want that to happen now. But they can already start. So, Xenomines, 20 turns, that's a lot. And now we see a planet. It's small swamp, that means it produces food, and they have a guard. Obviously. Space creatures, not very good. We hate space creatures. But if we would have gotten directly for the system, we would have been killed. Okay. So this is the edge of the map. That's okay for us. This planet might be interesting. Although we have the problem, if the planets here are not fertile, we cannot send any transports here, because they will be killed on the way. So we're moving. in the sectors. I think it will be easier to get that one going. Now I don't want to get too close to the crystals, because these guys are really dangerous. So, technology is still 18 turns. Can we do anything about that? I really want to do a little bit more researching, but at the moment we need the food more than anything else. Actually, we don't need to research things at the moment. Let's have a look at our ship. Yeah. Good. Shipbuilding is... Oh, I might have an idea. But first, let's run a little bit around. And another planet system. Ancient mines, radiated, medium barren, gas giant, and asteroid belt. Oh, look at this. So much fun. Okay, can we go there? Yes, we can. It always shows you how much fuel you have left. By the way, fuel. Some people take ships and build tons of fuel in it. You don't have to. If there is one ship in your fleet that has a huge fuel capacity, it shares it with the rest of the fleet. So if you're looking for a job for your little explorer to do after he has explored the known universe, he's an excellent tank ship that can support a fleet of battleships that have very little fuel cells to survive in the open. So I very specially recommend that. So... and what have we here? There's something special here, but there is also a war fleet. Massive caves, large barren, arid, large, poor, normal G, ancient androids. We really want to go there. We really want to colonize that planet. But if you look at the enemy's ships, you can do it, by the way, by clicking right on them. You can see that they have fighter base as well, and that they're not that small. They're actually quite capable. They have shields, 3 of them. They have rockets with an impressive range and a good damage potential. They have ion beams. Remember the size of that beams. And they have fusion engines, of course, because they're not dumb. They have the best engine technology you can get. These ships here are not that useful, but they're junk field raiders, so what did you expect? So we know everything we wanted about that thing, so it's time to go home. So... good. Done that, seen that. Nice first episode. In the next episode I will tell you more about shipbuilding and a little bit more about warfare. Thanks for watching. Bye!